So next up, we will go to a 4:05 first pitch between the Miami Marlins and the Philadelphia Phillies. Edward Cabrera will go for the Marlins, and Zach Wheeler is on the bump for Philadelphia. Plus 165 on Miami, minus 185 on Philly. Total here is set at 7.5. Do I do the same joke again? This is the key, Munaf. Cabrera has faced the Mets twice, and he's walked all of them. Hey, that's funny, Munaf. You laughed at that. He's pitched 6 2/3, and he's given up 13 walks, which is obviously a little bit of a concern. He's been hooked both times. And I think people are expecting better from Cabrera and will get better from Cabrera. Maybe just one of those things needs to settle down a little bit. And Zach Wheeler's proved himself hittable too, especially at Texas last time. Much more reliable at home, Wheeler is. He had a 1.85 ERA in 2022. On the show last night with Dylan, I faded the Phillies, but I did say I wanted to watch that game last night just to see how they looked. And they went and put up 15, lots of which were on Sandy Alcantara. So Philly looked like they're okay. I do think Cabrera will do better, but maybe not tomorrow. So I'm happy to take Philly here on the run line at a price of 105, Munaf.
Yeah, it almost seems like that maybe Wheeler's and Aaron Nola's arms were a little bit taxed after they made that World Series run. So, but like you mentioned, Zach Wheeler has just been really good at home. I'm not putting my money on Edward Cabrera right now. If the Phillies are smart, they just be patient at the plate. And like you mentioned, he's walked pretty much everybody in his starts, at least in the first 2 starts against the Mets. So, again, this might be another opportunity for if the Phillies stay patient at the plate, and Zach Wheeler can find his home form again. I think the Phillies should take care of business here. So I'm going to go with the Phillies on the run line. You're on mute, Mel.
I unmute myself. It takes so long to respond that I don't think I've done it, and then I press it and it puts me back on mute. So it's a team ride so far, Noah. Philadelphia on the run line. Have you got anything positive to say about Edward Cabrera, maybe?
Until Cabrera shows a little bit of improvement in control, I'm off of his bandwagon for now. I'm still a believer in the stuff. It's wild. The movement's crazy, but he's really just got to hem it into the strike zone, just kind of find his groove here early on. Still very early in the season, 2 weeks in. I think that he might be able to find a groove here, but still early. I think we got to continue to fade him. So, yeah, going Phillies here.
Okay, next up is a 4:07 Eastern first pitch. The Washington Nationals at the LA Angels. Mackenzie Gore, lefty, goes for the Nationals. Officially TBD for the Angels. I think it's Tucker Davidson who's going to be called up for this one. I do have some lines, so that might be accurate information. Go on the Nationals are plus 155. The Angels are minus 175. I've got a total of 9.5. So this is coming across to Munaf. And is it Tucker Davidson for you, Munaf? And if it is, what can you tell us about him?
I had Griffin Canning earlier this when I was handicapping it, but that may have changed. But do you see Mackenzie Gore starting for the Nationals? I can give you information.
Yeah, I've got Mackenzie Gore, yeah.
Okay, so we'll just discuss Mackenzie Gore, and then we'll try to figure out who the pitcher is for the Angels. But Mackenzie 3.8 ERA, 6 strikeouts in both of the starts this year. He was pretty good last season. The only team he did have trouble with because the ERA got into the Colorado Rockies. Last season, the Angels were number 26 in WRC plus versus left-handed pitching. This season, they are number 1, but I think that number could be inflated because they faced Corbin and Kikuchi in their last 2 games, did the Angels. Again, we don't know really who the pitcher is for the LA Angels here. You may be able to find some value here with Mackenzie Gore. If it is going to be him, I would look at a first 5 innings money line with Mackenzie Gore. I don't trust either one of these bullpens, but I think I can get behind Mackenzie Gore here. So I'll lean with the first 5 inning money line with the Nationals here.
Yeah, well, Mackenzie Gore was on my little list last week of pitchers who can make you some money, and he's gone okay. The Angels made my teeth itch again last night. After we kind of patted ourselves on the back one night last week, Munaf, for taking the Angels in the first 5, and then it flip-flopped, and I think it was Toronto who turned them over. But they were up to the same things again last night. I'd locked them up as on the run line, man, and I never learned there was a whole load of weak contact given up by Suarez. There was a ball 4 on a pitch clock violation, and they got beat off Patrick Corbin. So that tells you everything you need to know. So yeah, luckily, without seeing a proper picture, I didn't have to handicap this one, so I can wriggle out of it. Noah, anything on Washington at the Angels?
So for me, like that Sunday collapse that the Angels had, I had Reed Detmers in fantasy, and he was through 5 shutout, and he got tagged for 6 runs, and they lost the game. I needed 3 strikeouts, which I got, but because he got tagged for 6 runs, I then lost the ERA category that I was beating Gumby in originally, Gumby from the MLB Gambling Podcast, and I didn't get my win, so I ended up losing that. However, I do believe that the Angels I don't have the numbers in front of me because my computer's currently frozen, but I do believe that they're off to a very good start hitting against left-handers. So I am high on Gore. However, I don't think this is a great matchup for him, just off the top of my head, because, again, I can't look at it currently. So I apologize. But I think I'm on the Angels here in this game.
That's fair enough. I did see that Gumby had turned you over last week and you were having a bit of a twist about Reed Detmers. Next up is another pitcher that made my little list last week. The Oakland Athletics at the Baltimore Orioles. Left-handed pitcher Ken Waldichuk, hooray, goes for the Oakland Athletics, and Dean Kramer will go for Baltimore. Plus 165 on the A's, minus 185 on the O's. Total here is set at 8.5. Noah, we'll come straight back to you for some Ken Waldichuk chat.
So this Orioles offense was off to a scorching hot start in the beginning of the season. Then they cooled off over the weekend. I think this should be what we expect from the O's throughout the year. As we know, I took their under in the preseason. However, their OPS is 110 points better against left-handed pitching than righties, with a much better bullpen behind Dean Kramer than this Athletics team has behind Waldichuk. So that Athletics team just looks a little bit unbackable to me right now. This is a money line parlay piece from me, or even a run line that I advise here.
Okay. Munaf, Oakland at Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, just everything Noah said. I don't think you can get behind this Ace team right now, especially with Ken Waldichuk on the mound. Orioles have been really good at home. I think there's some great, or not great value, but I think you can just take the run line with the Orioles and just collect your money and look at your account increase by the end of this game.
Fair enough. I enjoyed Baltimore breaking out their beer funnel last night. They ditched the home run chain that they had last season and got out the kegger for a little hydration station in the dugout. I've taken the over here. 8.5 is the line. I think Kramer can donate 2 or 3 maybe to Oakland, and Ken Waldichuk and the Oakland bullpen can donate the rest. So 8.5. And Baltimore was swinging last night, swinging hot bat. So yeah, over 8.5 will be my play in that one. And next up is 6:40 Eastern first pitch between the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. Now you might have to. If I've got these lines wrong, there's been a pitching change here, so I'll give the lines out. But if I'm egregious, Munaf, you can jump on me. Chris Sale is going for the Boston Red Sox, and we have Taj Bradley going for the Tampa Bay Rays. I'll tell you about him in a moment. I've got Boston here at plus 125 and the Rays at minus 145, but that's got to be the old prices, I reckon. That's got to be Zach Eflin, who has gone to the IL, which is why Taj Bradley has been called up. Taj Bradley is the Rays' top prospect, 18th in overall in MLB pipeline. And yeah, he's coming to fill in for Zach Eflin, who went to the IL only 2 or 3 hours ago today. Tyler Glasnow will be back soon enough, so we don't know how long Bradley's going to be here. But he's been doing okay in Durham, 257 ERA, and that's probably still somehow the 2 games he's played, the Boston have both won. Bear in mind, Sale has an 11.25 ERA at this point. He's given up 10 earned runs and 8 innings pitched. I was in on Sale, so I'm going to have to give him another chance. However, like I say, the pitching change on Tampa Bay has muddied the waters a little bit. Tampa Bay are doing historic things. They've hit 25 homers this season. They're going for, 11th win in a row tonight. So Taj Bradley, if he does go, he'll be looking to get them 12 in a row if they can win again tonight. They've 3 scoreless games in a row, which is quite remarkable, really. And one more line on Boston was that Adam Duvall, who's been hitting bombs, has gone to the injured list as well, unfortunately. So I had Boston with Chris Sale at a price of plus 125, but I'm not really sure on those lines now. So Munaf, have you seen any updated lines on this, and anything you can add to how I've handicapped Bradley?
I see even money on Chris Sale right now.
Okay, so
minus
hasn't moved loads.
Yeah, not too big of a difference.
I'll take that, yeah. Boston even money then, please.
Yeah, Chris Sale, I know he's been off to an atrocious start here for the Red Sox, but his numbers against the Rays are actually really good. But I just need to see it from Sale before I can trust him. If I lean, I would just stay with the hot hand here with the Tampa Bay Rays until Chris Sale proves me otherwise. At a minus 120 price, I think the bats can, again, if Chris Sale continues in bad form like he has been, I think the bats can get to Chris Sale early. So I would just continue riding the Rays here, minus 120 for me until I see otherwise from Chris Sale.
Okay, Noah?
As subscribers or co-hosts of Malcolm, we have to appreciate when he's going to go down with the ship on one of his predictions for the season. Chris Sale against this Rays active roster has the Rays active.
Have we lost Noah again, Munaf?
I think so.
Looks that way.
Frozen.
So I'm going to be on the Rays here.
Oh, okay, Noah's back. So yeah, he's
what happened? What did I?
We lost
for a second.
We lost you briefly, but you're back now. We move on to a 7:07 Eastern first pitch between the Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. Eduardo Rodriguez, left-hander, goes for Detroit. Kevin Gausman will go for the Blue Jays. The lines are plus 225 on Detroit. They're a big price. Prohibitive on Toronto, minus 263. The total is set at 8.5. Munaf, can you make a case for Erod and the Tigers?
I'm not sure that I can. He's been off to a shaky start in his first 2 starts for the Detroit Tigers. He's pitched a total of 10 innings, 11 runs in that span. This is going to be his 3rd road start for the Tigers, and Erod has struggled in his career against the Blue Jays, where he is 5-6 with a 5.20 ERA. Obviously, when he was with the Red Sox, being in that same division, he was, or I guess we can say that he was familiar with the Blue Jays, and Blue Jays were familiar with him. He has gotten into trouble pitching-wise when he pitches on the road, especially in Toronto. Kevin Gausman, he's off to a great start this year for the Jays. He is 1-1, but he hasn't allowed any earned runs in the 12 innings that he has pitched so far this season. And in his career against the Tigers, he is 2-2 with a 3.42 ERA. Last season, he did have 1 start against the Tigers where he went 6 innings and only allowed 1 earned run. I like the Jays here in this game. I like them on the run line. I would look at their team total to go over as well.
Okay, love that, Munaf. We've lost Noah again temporarily. We will crack on. 7:20 Eastern, first pitch between the Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves. Hunter Green goes to the hill for the Reds, and Spencer Strider will pitch for Atlanta, who are, as you'd imagine, short price favourites, minus 263. The Reds with Green are plus 220. The total is set at 8. I thought this was really straightforward, Munaf. I adore what Strider's been doing so far this season. Absolutely fantastic. The bats look ready to go too. I don't mind Hunter Green. He's another one of these. There's quite a lot of them on this slate, actually. A load of these fireball rookies. And it will come, I think, for Green. But again, it's a bad spot for him tomorrow. I've got Atlanta team total here. I guessed it. Round about 4.5 million. You might be able to steer me on that number. But yeah, Atlanta team total for me. I just think they look ready to touch up Green.
Yeah, he hasn't recorded a decision so far this season in the 2 starts, right? He has a 5.63 ERA. He hasn't made it to the 5th inning in either one of those starts. He struggled last season on the road, where he was just 2-7 with a 4.21 ERA. He did face the Braves once last season, where he did go 5 innings, allowed 3 earned runs off of 4 hits, 2 of which were home runs by the Atlanta Braves. But in the 7 losses that he took on the road last season, Mal, 6 of those 7 losses were by 2 or more runs. And Green's last start was in Philly, where he, on the road, where he did lose 5-2. So there's another example of him losing by 2 or more runs on the road. I mean, I think you fancy Spencer Strider quite a lot. I mean, he's off to a good start. 1-0 with a 2.45 ERA. Last season, he did have 2 appearances against the Reds, one of which was a start in July. He went 6 innings, allowed only 1 earned run, and struck out 11 batters in that game. He's been dominant in Atlanta, pitching at home, where he is 7-1 with a 2.42 ERA. I mean, the numbers are there. I think this is, like you mentioned, a Braves team total over. My gut probably tells me you might get a 3.5 first 5, and I think full game maybe 5.5. But I think my favorite play is going to be the run line in this game with the Braves.
Terrell has just turned up in the chat. Not very often spotted in the MLB Gambling Podcast chat. Hi, Terrell. I'm a huge fan of Terrell. Watching Terrell sweat out his bets is one of the most fun things you can do. If you haven't had a bet yourself, just watch Terrell. He's like a frog in a blender, jumping around, sweating out his bets. So good evening and welcome to you. Noah is back. Cincinnati at Atlanta.
Yeah, guys. Sorry for my shit show of connection throughout the year or throughout the day. I mean, this is what I've got for this one. I'm going the other way. So far, the Braves' OPS against right-handed pitching has been a lowly 716. It's lowly for them, average in the MLB. It's 16th. The Reds ranked 9th with a 763. I could see some value here on a Reds first 5 money line because their bullpen is bottom 7 in the majors. But Hunter Green, I think, can keep them in this game if he has his A+ stuff going. I want to do this for a little bit of fun since it's been a stressful pod for me. I'm going to set the odds at -130 for Hunter Green, Spencer Strider +115. Who throws the harder fastball in this game? Because there will be a lot of highlights from fastballs between the 2 pitchers.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Hunter Green will just I'll take the odds on Noah. 8:05 Eastern is the Kansas City Royals and the Texas Rangers. This is the penultimate game of the slate. Brad Keller goes for Kansas City and Nathan Eovaldi will go for Texas. +155 on the Royals, -175 on the Rangers. Totally is set at 8.5. Keller has gone okay. Walked a few too many batters, 3 and 4 in his 2 starts, which is a slight worry. Struggled on the road last year badly, 5.69 ERA, and obviously KC are struggling, as we've seen. Evaldi's had 2 almost identical starts, and he's a little bit. He's in the Blake Snell envelope for me, and I'm a little bit bored of him. This was a really uninspiring game to handicap, I felt. The Royals are 2-2 on the road. I think that Keller can keep it tight, and I think it's tighter than the book suggest. So at that +155, I'm going to have a little gamble on the underdog here. Yeah, give me the Kansas City Royals on the money line, Munaf, please.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, I couldn't bring myself to a side here. Keller has struggled against the Dodgers. Against the Rangers. Trying to pull up his exact numbers here. Give me a second. Let's see here. He's 0-2 with an 8.44 ERA against Texas Rangers. So I think this might be a game where we see runs again. I know the Rangers put up 11 runs on Monday night, was it, against the Royals? So I'm gonna go reluctantly. I'll take the Rangers. I think we do see runs in this game. Give me the Rangers team total in this game over, and then full game over as well.
Just another eye roll this morning when I was watching the highlights was Heaney equaled that record of 9 consecutive strikeouts last night, Andrew Heaney. The start after I locked him up and he got absolutely smashed the week before. And I just felt like everything was going tits up this morning. Also, I think Terrell's just something to pay for me to go to Vegas in the comments, which is a nice touch. Noah, Kansas at Texas.
Yeah, so even though he does have a rough history against the Rangers, we know that the Royals front office and managing staff had a complete wash throughout the offseason. New coaches came in, new front office came in, and what we've kind of learned is that this Royals pitching staff is a little bit better than what we expected it to be, and the offense has been worse than we expected it to be. And it's completely flipped. I don't know when this offense is going to come around. They've got a lot of young pieces that seem exciting. However, I think may have made some good changes in the offseason with new coaching. He's added a new off-speed pitch and a slider that he's throwing more, and it's more effective, giving him more swing and misses. His expected ERA this year is only 2.30 compared to throughout his career it being in the 280s, expected batting average being in the 280s, 260s. It's only 2.30 this year. I think this is a guy that we maybe should be buying low in. Whereas we kind of know what we're going to get from Nathan Eovaldi, and that's just inconsistency. So I'm right there with Malcolm, and gamble is the perfect word with the Royals here on this game.
It's a gambling podcast. It's written on my jumper. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? One more game, the 9:45 Eastern first pitch between the LA Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants, where the lefty Clayton Kershaw goes for the Dodgers, and Alex Cobb will pitch for the San Francisco Giants, who are home underdogs at plus 155. The Dodgers minus 175. The total here is at 8. And I reckon Munaf's going to tip the Giants here. Munaf?
Clayton Kershaw on the road in his career against the Giants is 14-6 with a 1.60 ERA.
I don't think Munaf's going to tip the Giants here. I've changed my mind.
28 appearances. I mean, the guy just has great history against the Giants. I don't think that's something that I can ignore. It's again, I think we've talked about this. We talked about it last season and the previous season as well. It just feels like a big brother, little brother situation. I know the Giants won the division, prior to last season, but I mean, we saw it on Monday night that the Dodgers were, again, going into San Francisco, were able to put up runs behind Max Muncy. And I think that we'll see a similar situation happen on Tuesday night and then also on Wednesday night with Clayton Kershaw on the mound. So I'm going to take the Dodgers here, minus 1.5. I'm not going to think about it too much. Give me the Dodgers on the run line.
Okay, so the complete opposite of what I thought. Noah, Kershaw against Cobb.
The Dodgers have the second best team OPS against right-handed pitching so far this year, and they have a batting average of 336 against Alex Cobb. It's going to be a rough day for the Giants, I think. Guys to look at from this Dodgers lineup: Mookie Betts, 297 with 2 home runs. JD Martinez batting 480 with a home run against Cobb. It's spelling minus 1.5 play from me here.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the Giants anyway, plus 155. Yeah, they always win one off in these series, don't they? The Giants, notoriously competitive at home against the Dodgers. And this is the one they're going to win. I don't mind Cobb. I think they get to Kershaw. So, give me the Giants at plus 155. Captain Insane was questioning my use of the term jumper in the comments, which I'm putting to you that it's perfectly acceptable. But that, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, has got us to the end of handicapping the games. We've got some locks and dogs to give out. We'll come to you first, Noah. Give
first.
We'll go. Okay.
My computer's still somewhat frozen. I don't have the odds in front of me. I gotta.
Your computer's buggered, and when I come to Munaf first, he's never done them. So you can always see him frantically beavering away trying to do it. So he makes me go and ask Dylan. Do you want me to ring Dylan up and get a lock and dog off him? I mean, someone's got to make it. Do you want me to go?
Munaf's ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, go. Sorry, Munaf. Go.
Okay. The game we just talked about, I'll take that as my lock. I mean, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. Run line Dodgers -1.5, -105 as my lock. Not a lot of dogs that I did like. I mean, there are some heavy underdogs tomorrow. We talked about the Reds, the Royals. I think you fancy a little bit. I don't like the Red Sox in the spot. I think I'm going to go with another run line here. It's a very, very, very small puppy. Phillies on the run line -1.5 +105. Edward Cabrera, like you mentioned, is walking everybody. Actually, you know what? No, I can't because that's not even a plus price either. I'll stay with the Phillies -1.5 +105. A very, very small puppy there.
That is very much off the ladies' menu, Munaf, but we'll allow it. Noah?
I didn't like anything else.
I co-signed the Dodgers -1.5, but my lock here is the Tampa Bay Rays -125 on the money line against Chris Sale. They have great numbers against him. And for my dog, I'm going to go with Lucas Giolito and the Chicago White Sox against the Minnesota Twins +130.
My goodness, so you've both locked up games in which I've taken the other side. So I think you're learning. Well done, boys. You're learning how it works. For my lock, I'm going to go. Mine's also a run line, which is Houston against Pittsburgh. Dick Mountain's going to give up millions here.
That's
so
a
Houston,
loser. That's 4-12. 4-12 day. Come on.
Houston, Houston might win 12-4. That'll be as close as you get. And on my dog, I can't believe you didn't take this, Noah. Trey Jameson. The Arizona Diamondbacks are +115. We picked him up in our fantasy league, and he's going to throw a perler tomorrow. So give me the D-backs at +115.
I had the lead. I had the lead handicap of that game, and of course, as we know, I lagged out of here. I think it's a tough matchup for Jameson. I'm really high on the Brewers this year. However, this is the Courtney Love game of the slate. This price is off. This is only +125. I saw it. Like, that's something that you just jump on because it's the kid. Like, it's his first start. That doesn't make sense. It should be a little bit higher, like +140, +150 type thing. I think the D-backs are very live.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, Terrell, we do like the Marlins tonight. +140, fill your boots. And that's it. We're done. Thank you, Munaf. Thank you, Noah. Apologies for the gremlins. And thanks everyone who's joined us, Terrell, Captain Insano, TV, DVJ, etc. We do appreciate it. Munaf, anything to add before we go?
No. Hopefully we are able to find some more winners and make some more money for our listeners.
Correct. Noah, anything you need to tell us?
Let's go Bucks. It's 4-12 day. They're going to go and get a W against the world champs in the most beautiful park in the MLB. Okay,
there you go. So that's it. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. We do appreciate it. Good luck with your picks. We will be back tomorrow. And until then, we'll see you down the road. Cheers.